Welcome to Strong and Steady, where we talk about building strength, supporting your health, and choosing sustainable wellness for women in every season of life.
And I'm Brittany. I'm here with my co-host, Jessica. She's a mom of 4 littles with such a grounded, realistic approach to balance for low-tox living. She helps busy moms build healthy habits that actually work in real life without perfection or overwhelm.
And I'm Jessica, here with Brittany, a woman's health and fitness coach who specializes in elite aging. She helps women build strong bones and muscles so they can live their whole lives to the fullest with confidence, strength, and independence.
And together, we have over 2 decades specializing in the health and fitness industry. So whether you're in the thick of young motherhood
or focused on staying strong for the long run,
we are so glad you're here. Hey guys, it's Brittany here, and I am here with my co-host Jessica, and I am actually super excited about this topic today. Jessica, she is like the goat when it comes to low tox. Like, I don't know, I love the low tox stuff, but personally for me, it like overwhelms me sometimes because I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And then you look up something else and then you're like, oh, you can't have that. Oh, and then you do something else. And then it's like just this ripple effect and it's very overwhelming. And when you're a mom, a working mom, or even just a woman like yourself, like it can be overwhelming to add one more thing. So Jessica, let me ask you this first. What is low tox? Tell me about this.
Yes. So low tox, and I will start by saying it can mean different things for different people, but kind of in general, low tox is finding ways to reduce the toxins in your house that you're consuming, that you're around, and just being intentional about the products and things you're using, you're eating, and just like that, because nowadays there's so many toxins around. Like, I've learned some of our food is even sprayed with like chemicals. And then, it all, like you said, you can definitely go down the rabbit hole. But in general, it's being intentional about what we're using and eating.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I love that how you say like intentional because it's instead of just letting everything come into your house, it's like, okay, I need to pick and choose what
Yes.
is, what can. And I mean, it's kind of that way with everything that we have
Yep.
with our thoughts too. But
Mhm.
so how did you get into I guess this low talk stuff or like what was your wake up call when it came to that?
Yeah. So I'd say initially it kind of gently started almost 9 years ago now when I started learning about gut health. Honestly, prior to that, I was not the health person. Like, I got into gut health because of the business I was wanting to join. And when I told like my parents, my now husband at the time, he was fiance, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do gut health stuff. They were like, yeah, are you sure? Like, and I was like, yeah. And at the time, like I knew nothing. I knew you should take a multivitamin and probiotics. I knew doctors talked about it, but that was kind of all I knew. So that kind of did a soft kickoff on it for me, and just starting to learn a little bit more about the gut and how much it's linked. Like we call it the second brain of our body because so many things are linked to it. But then fast forward 3, 4 years or so, and we had our first son. And so even then, like I was starting to learn a little bit more, not too much. And then he was actually a couple years old, and I think we had our second already, maybe even our third. I don't remember. But I had a friend start talking about like artificial food dyes. And at first I was kind of like, yeah, okay. But then as she was just like talking about it in conversation and sharing more, and I was learning how much it can affect our kids, us too, but especially our kids. It can affect like their moods, their behaviors, ADHD, like all of this stuff was being linked to it. And some of that, like I was kind of questioning if it was linked to some of the stuff my son was going through. And so I said, let's cut it out. And when we first cut it, I didn't notice too much of a difference, but over time, like we started seeing the difference. And so kind of seeing that impact kind of really kicked me into, okay, let's learn more about this low tox and kind of how all of this stuff is affecting us and our bodies and our kids.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I will say this, like my husband, he's a teacher and he can literally see a difference. Like
Mhm.
it's funny because he was not a health nut like I am. Like he's learned his stuff since
Mhm.
he's married me. And so I'll tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, they need to get off of red dye. They need to get off
Yeah.
of these and these and these. And I'm like, and that would help their behavior so much. And so sometimes he'll talk to parents that where their kids are having bad behavior, and he's like, he's like, I understand, you have to have discipline and everything at
Mhm.
home, and because that's going to transfer into the school, but also it really starts with your diet. Like you have to, and he's going
Yeah.
like, I mean, these kids are eating like hot Cheetos every
Oh
day, and I'm
yeah.
like, and then like Pringles, they have like five different types of MSG in
Mhm.
them.
It's crazy.
Crazy, and it literally alters your brain.
Mhm.
And you think about this as like how it alters us, and we're like bigger and we have more weight on us and stuff.
Oh
But
yeah.
then like these little kids, I'm like, how much it's doing to them,
Mhm.
which is crazy. So, so I guess that goes into our next question. So with all of this information and stuff, where would you personally start on trying to transition your home into a low tox home?
Yeah. So again, it kind of depends on like your family and if there's like anything specific you're wanting to target. So like for us, we were looking at just like behavior and being able to help him in different situations. And so for that, like I'd say start with the artificial dyes, like cutting them out. And it doesn't like we weren't like go through the house, throw everything out that has dye in it. Like we finished what we had and we researched and replaced it with something new. Because going through trashing and starting all over, that's overwhelming. That's hard. That's
A very
there are
expensive.
people who can do it. Yes, very
Yeah.
expensive. There are people who can do it, but I was not one of them. But for others, it can be like different things. I know fragrance is probably another big one, I'd say. Because fragrances are it's hormone disruptors, and so people like can headaches and just all this different things can come from it. Um, but again, just taking one thing at a time. And I've learned so many things have fragrance, like your dish soap fragrance, your dishwasher fragrance, like everything. And so just kind of researching that and taking it one step at a time. But those are probably the two big places I would start with.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, and you think about it is like it's not always necessarily like one chemical that's going to send us into into a
Mm-hmm.
headache or whatever, but it's
Yep.
that accumulation of all of those toxins that can cause all of this gut issues,
Yeah.
headaches with hormone issues, everything like PCOS and fragrances are literally like
Mm-hmm.
they're like it's almost like fragrances are one of the causes of PCOS. And but then you think about that is like you can reverse that too, is that it's not this all or nothing mindset, but it's literally like that ripple effect, that choosing one thing to change at a time.
Yeah.
So I love that. So what, so I guess going on that, what would you say is like, what's a non-negotiable for you of like, we have to cut this out. Like we cannot
Mm-hmm.
have this in our house to like, yeah, we can have a little bit of balance,
Yeah.
live a little.
Yep. Yeah. Again, for us, that just goes back to the dyes. Our son, like I said, when we first cut it out, I didn't notice too much of a difference. And even that first time he had it again, like, because I will say that's the thing too, is when you're cutting it out, there will be times you slip up. It's okay. It happens. You live, you learn, you keep going. And so there was like a time he had some, and I didn't see much of a difference. And then looking back too, I'm wondering he might have still kind of been in that detox period where it still wasn't all out of his system. But then there was another time a little bit after that where he had some cake. And I did question, I was like, does that have dye in it? But like, I was still very new to it and I was kind of shy to ask. And so I said, okay, like, I'll let you try some. It was white icing and like white or yellow cake. Tip: white does not mean no dyes. It can even mean like they'll use blue dyes to make it whiter. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so white does not mean no dyes, but he had some, and like the next day he was just like on a different level, going crazy, like almost like crazy eyes, could not sit still. We were out to dinner with with his grandparents, and he was just like all over the place, could not sit, just so had so much like built up energy. And I was like, what is going on? And then it finally dawned on me, he had the cake and that probably had dye in it.
Oh my
And
goodness.
for him, like it will affect him for almost a full week before like it's
Yeah.
out of his system. Um, and so like for us, dyes is one of the 99% of the time he's not having dyes. Like there was one time I think we forgot his snack for school, and then we were having lunch at school that day, and he doesn't eat the pizza, and I forgot to bring a sandwich. I was like, okay, they had like super small donuts. I was like, okay, one donut to tie you over. I knew it had dye, and like that wasn't too bad. But in 99.9 of the situations, like we're not having dye. The kids know when we go to birthday parties, because that's a one I hear a lot of is families are like, well, we're going to birthday parties. Like, what do we do? And for us, we'll either, if I think ahead of time, we'll bring either some cupcakes or like gummies with us as an alternative or cookies. If we're going and I forget, I just tell them, hey guys, it probably has dye in it. If they don't have a cookie or something, we'll get a treat on the way home. And they're to the point now, like they understand, they know, and they're good about asking about it too. So we started, I think our oldest was 3 or 4 when we started this. He's almost 6 now. And so they're 6, 4, and 3. And they will ask someone, they're like, does that have dye in it? And so like they've learned to kind of, in some sense, take responsibility as well. And so that's been really cool to see.
No, that's awesome. And I
Mhm.
like how you said that. It's like they take responsibility, and it's also like teaching them like it's okay to ask these questions,
Yep.
because I don't know about you, but we were taught like they're starving kids in Africa and China, and if you don't eat all of your food, you're
Yep.
like you're starving them.
Yep.
But it kind of just set this mindset of like, oh no, we have to accept anything and everything. And yeah, in some cultures you do. Like I've gone to several different countries, and you don't reject what they give
Yep.
you, and that's
Yep.
okay. You just pray over your stomach and you're
Yep.
like, we're just gonna trust God. But yeah, no, that's good to teach them that. But and I know like one question a lot of parents have is like, oh, my kids are gonna feel left out.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that if you look at it in like the big picture, is like they are being left out of having ADD, they're being left out of having ADHD, they're being left out of having obesity. Like, y'all, 50% of the kids in America are obese. 50. That is
That's
literally
crazy.
half of the population of kids are obese. So, no offense, but I'm okay with my kids being left out of that.
Yep.
And
Oh yeah.
that's what you really have to look at is like you really have to see it's okay for them to be left out, and we're not always going to be included in stuff. And this is one of those things that you can pick and choose what they're going to be included in. You
Well,
may look like a weirdo, but it's fine. We're all going to look like weirdos eventually.
but you can also use it too. Like, I mean, our friend who started it, they used it and they were able to help us. So they helped educate us. And like from when all of they started to now, like there's kind of a small little group of us. So like we go to birthday parties and generally like sometimes we just kind of come over quietly, we pass out their snacks and there's a group of them having it. And so like they know, oh, so and so is coming too. They're going to have the alternative snack as well. And like we view it a lot too. Like no, it's not as severe, like it's not life threatening like a peanut allergy, but in a sense it is an allergy. They are going to
Mhm.
have a reaction to it. Like again, not as severe as some peanut allergies, but there are reactions to it. And so it's kind of that mindset. Like if my kid were to have this type of allergy,
Mhm.
someone would, without, no brainer, give them
Yeah,
all.
without question. Yeah.
They essentially have an allergy to this. Like, yeah, sometimes people are more like, oh, well, okay. But again, it goes back to like, we are responsible for our kids and the decisions we make. If someone makes a
Mhm.
different decision for their family, that is absolutely fine. Like, that is your choice. You are doing what is best for your family. We're doing what's best for ours. There doesn't have to be any competition, any argument. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's like you raise your kids to the best of your abilities, and then
Mm-hmm.
later on in life, if they choose to eat Cheetos or whatever, then that's on them and they can deal with their own craziness. But and it's funny though because my mom, she grew, well, not grew up, but she got really sick when I was younger.
Hmm.
And where she was like, she prayed, she was like, Lord, if I don't get well, please just take me home. Like I'm so miserable. And
Yeah.
so she went into this whole healing process of getting rid of gluten, getting rid of
Mhm.
dairy, like getting rid of all of this stuff. And that taught me like, oh, I need to take care of my health too, so I
Yeah.
can feel better. And
Hmm.
it's funny though, because these kids, they will realize like when they do eat something that they're not supposed to, and then when they do eat something that is good and nourishing and stuff, because I don't know about y'all, but if I eat something that does not make me feel good, I'm like, I'm not eating it. I'm not touching it. I don't
Hmm.
want it. Like, I don't care what the peer pressure is. I'm not going to do it. And we can teach our kids that also is like
Hmm.
this is the body that God has given us. We need to be good stewards, and
Yep.
this is one of those ways that we can be a good steward.
Hmm.
So let me ask you this. What would you say the biggest misconception about low tox living? Like what would that be?
I think it's that it has to be an all or nothing. And so like me, I call myself scrunchy. So there's like the crunchy moms that are like super, super just like focused on it. And again, nothing wrong with it. That's they're in a time in their life where they're able to do that. I go scrunchy, semi crunchy. And so just like finding that balance and what's working for your family. So, like some of the swaps we made, like I said, some people can just clear out their pantry, make the whole swap. Some people, cleaning supplies, can just throw everything away and start fresh. Realistically, though, for most people, that's not the case. It's just taking that one step at a time. And also, the first thing you swap to does not have to be perfect. So, like for us, we were switching hand soap. I did lots and lots of research, searched on it, thought I was doing well, made a switch, and a little bit later on, I found out okay, it was a slightly better choice, but really not that much better than what we had been using. And so I didn't sit there and like beat myself up about it. It wasn't that I was a terrible mom, it wasn't anything. It was just I didn't know yet. And so as I kept learning, I kept making the switches. And like we've said before, it's about progress, not perfection.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, it's not that all or nothing, all or
Mm-hmm.
nothing mindset because it seriously gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
I know for us, like we switched laundry detergent. Like when we I'm trying to think like when I was about to have my baby and I was like, "Oh, she can't like it drives I don't want to say drives me crazy, but it's like if this is not good for the baby skin and it's going to make them break out and do all this stuff, why am I putting that on my
Yep.
skin too?"
Yep. And
Um
one thing with that I learned just because it says baby does not mean it's clean or low tox, which is awful and super sad.
yeah.
But they like a baby product is not regulated for low tox. It's
Oh,
just a
exactly.
marketing strategy.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of these things is like you literally do have to look at the label
Mm-hmm.
because they'll be like, "Oh, hey, this is good and clean and everything." I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's cleaner than your last one, but it still has this, this, and this." Or
Or they
I'm
use the green colors, even though it's not really green and
yeah,
eco and all of that.
it's more like green like the cartoons when it's when
Yeah.
it's bad and it's all green and bubbly and
Yeah.
hazardous. That's the type of green that it has.
Mhm.
So what would you tell moms who feel overwhelmed or guilty for not necessarily like doing enough?
I'd say just doing something is doing enough. Like we said, it's not all in, don't dive head first. You most likely will go crazy. Like you will be up till 3 a.m. researching stuff, going crazy, trying to find like it's not worth it. Just pick one thing and do that. So for us, like we ran out of laundry detergent, like you were saying. And so we were researching. I knew we were coming close to the end of it, needing to buy more. Instead of just buying our usual, we researched, okay, what's a better option, and again sometimes the better option is just a step up and then next time it's another step up. It's not like we said, it's not perfection, it's just doing what you know is best at that time.
Yeah, yeah. And what would you say like your I guess we'll say like your top 3 ones that you would change?
Mm-hmm.
Like Like if someone was starting off and they're like, okay, I need to change 3 things, what can I
Yeah.
do?
So I'd look kind of at like the categories, I'd say. Again, I always go back to the artificial dyes just because I saw such an impact with that. But then, like, fragrances is the other huge one. And so for that, I'd look at like personal care items, whether it's deodorant, that's a huge one. Like, one of my mentors who I kind of learned all this from, that's one of her first swaps she suggests is deodorant. But then looking at like shampoo, conditioner, soaps, and then also like laundry detergent because you're washing that and you're wearing that every single day.
Mhm.
Last one I'd say would be to start with cleaning supplies because that is spraying all across your home. And so working to find better options for that as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I don't know about you, but I'm like, honestly, I'm a germ freak and kind of like OCD when it comes to that. But
Mm,
like, we were looking for a cleaner for our floor because we moved into this house, and I've mopped it with like hot water and stuff. But sometimes you just need a little bit
hmm.
extra. But then you're like, well, what about this? What about this? And then, like Fabuloso or Pine Sol or whatever. But there's so many toxins in there.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest fan of the smells. Like when a smell reminds you of an old job, you're like, we're done. We're done with that.
Yeah.
But then you think about it, like my baby, she's crawling. And
Hmm.
she's crawling, she's having her hands on the floor, all over the floor, anywhere,
Hmm.
every nook and cranny that I have not been to in forever, she will
Yep.
find it. But then she takes that and then she'll put her hands in her mouth. Or then she takes her hand and then touches my face. And you're like, and then all of those toxins or all of those germs are literally spreading around. And this is how my brain goes. And I don't know about, and I know that there's some other moms that are like me, where you're just like, I'm just going to hyperventilate and shut down because this is crazy. But it's like you think about that and it's the same not just with germs, but it's with the toxins too. And
Hmm.
it's like if I don't want my baby to have it, then I don't need to be doing it either.
Yeah.
And I will say like one of the first swaps that I personally have done was deodorant. Because you think you have your lymph nodes in your armpits, and most people wear like an antiperspirant deodorant, but the fact is that you need a sweat. I'm sorry, but you may
Yep.
stink and it's okay, but that's your body's way of releasing toxins, of getting rid of toxins. And when
Hmm.
we are blocking those up, that's when we can have problems with cancer because your body's not getting rid of those toxins. Like I remember when I was a preteen and started using deodorant because it started stinking. I don't know. And I just remember like it was almost like I was getting like my lymph nodes were like clogging up. Like I was
Yep.
having like a little ball like where that lymph node was.
Hmm.
And then I stopped using that specific deodorant and it went away.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's like we don't always realize it, but how that literally like constantly affects us. And
Hmm.
then later on in life, then we're dealing with a bunch of health issues
Yep.
because we haven't addressed it in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so important. Just like we were saying, remember what's going on your skin. Our skin's the biggest organ of our, or second biggest of our
It's
body.
technically our
One
biggest, yeah.
big, yeah, and it absorbs everything, and so like we really have to be focused on what we're putting on our skin.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So what would you say are there areas where you don't stress about toxins, and why would you not stress about
I mean, yeah, like especially going outside of our house, we can't control everything. Like yes, we can try to bring, maybe we bring our hand sanitizer, but honestly, most of the time I forget it or I put it in this diaper bag, but I grab the other diaper bag. And things like that, like when you go out, you can't control everything. And so you do your best. Like we said before, the dyes is one of our non negotiable. That one's a little easier because you can check labels pretty easily, but like going into a public bathroom, there's no soap label. Most likely there's dyes, there's fragrances in it, but at the same time, like you need to wash your hands. And
Yeah,
so like
please do.
like so you gotta find that balance. And just kind of accept that not everything is in your control.
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree. So if someone did one thing this month, what would you recommend starting off with?
I would say find what you're almost out of. Is it a snack? Is it shampoo, soap, a cleaner? Just one thing you're almost out of, and start looking for what is the next best thing? What is a better option I can swap this out with?
Oh, I love that. And it's so, I guess you could say, like, attainable
Mhm.
and very simple. And that's the biggest thing that we want to share with y'all on this podcast is that it's not all or nothing on your health. It's not all or nothing on low tox or whatever, but it's literally choosing things that you can get that slight edge
Yep.
in life. So that way you are living a less toxic home. And the little things matter so, so much.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm trying to think, what would you say like your favorite brand is when it comes to, we'll just say, like, laundry detergent?
Yeah. So I kind of go between two brands that I like a lot. Truly Free and Attitude. You can find them both on Amazon. I'll also link our like low tox guide in the show notes. But they're both like low tox options. They have like natural I believe it's essential oils. So like there's still a very light scent to it. I found they are good quality. They have laundry detergents, they have soaps, they have like house cleaners as well. And so those have kind of been my go-to like two brands for when starting out. I check and if I can swap it with them and I'll test them out, see if I like them. And most of the time they're ones I've kept. There are some there I'm like, I prefer a different brand than like Attitude shampoo. We
Mhm.
used it, we like it, but we are trying other brands. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I'd say those are probably my top two go-to brands that I check first to see if I can swap and check those out.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love their stuff, how clean it is.
Yes.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, y'all. We are so excited that y'all have been here having this conversation with us. And again, like Jessica had said, is that we're going to put the Low Talks guide in the show notes that you can download, print off, and then you can tag us, share it on your Instagram, on your Facebook, tag us in it, and we are so glad to see you there. And we will come hang out with us, and we will see you next time.
Dear God, I thank you for all these ladies listening in, and I pray that you will be with each of them as we all are working to just clear the toxins out of our lives and to live our lives to the fullest and for you. I pray for each of us this week as we go through. Please just help us to find the joy and to see you in every situation. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to come hang out with us over on Instagram. You can find us at The Strong and Steady. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time on Strong and Steady.